It's 6:54 in the morning, and in just 6 minutes, at exactly 7 a.m., campground reservations open up for the dates I need to make a reservation for. But here's the thing. There's only one lakefront campsite left. It's the one right here. So I'm sitting here ready to pounce and grab this reservation. It's 7 o'clock, so I hit the reserve button. Oh my gosh, it says I can't reserve it yet. I must have clicked too early. I need to quickly hit that reservation button again. Oh no, it says it's no longer available. Shoot, somebody beat me to it. Finding and making camping reservations at the best campsites can be so stressful. And I'm a little embarrassed to tell you this, but I've become a campsite snob. If you too are a little picky and like camping at those coveted camping spots, this video is for you. I'm gonna share my favorite tools and some tricks and tips to help you nab those most desired camping spots. To find the best campsites, you first need a tool that has the largest database of campgrounds. And my number one go-to is the AllStays app. It's February, and I'm currently planning a 2-week camping trip for this upcoming summer. And I want to stay in this area of Michigan. So, being the campsite snob that I am, I only want to find lakefront camping spots. I found the Wilderness State Park, and when clicking on the images, I could quickly see that this campground indeed has waterfront campsites. And look at that gorgeous Lake Michigan shoreline. When scrolling through the images, I also noticed that there was a campground map. And when I was looking at this map, it looks like about a quarter of the campsites are lakefront campsites. And when I checked online for the dates I needed, unfortunately, there weren't any lakefront campsites available. So I continued searching, and then I found the Straight State Park campground, and this one looked exciting. It looked like some of the campsites not only were lakefront, but they also had views of the Mackinac Bridge. Woohoo! And this leads me to a tip about finding the best campground reviews. So, if I've not previously stayed at a campground that I'm interested in making a reservation at, I always search for videos about the campground on YouTube. This gives me a better feel for the campground, and I know this trick has saved me from making a reservation at campgrounds I know I would have been disappointed in. And this video confirmed that there are some really nice waterfront campsites here. Okay, back to my Straight State Park story, and you won't believe what happens next. When I checked, there were only a handful of campsites that were waterfront, but there was one that was available on the dates that I needed. That was campsite number 6A. When I saw this, I was so excited, but I couldn't make my reservations yet because you only can make a reservation 6 months in advance to the day. And this left me kind of vulnerable because someone else could come in and nab this campsite if they were going to arrive just a day or two before I was going to. But thank goodness, this never happened. So I set my alarm for the morning of the day that 6-window period opened. I had my iPad open to the campsite reservation page, and I had my computer open to a world clock so I could see the exact second when it was going to turn 7 o'clock. I have to tell you, my heart was pounding because I knew from previous experience that just a fraction of a second could make the difference between me getting that campsite and not getting it. But I was ready. I had my finger hovering over that reserve button. Then it turned 7 o'clock and I hit the button. Once again, I must have hit that button just a second too early, so I quickly re-hit the button again. The confirming notification seemed to go on forever. I didn't know what was going to happen. And then it happened. I got confirmation that the campsite was mine. Finding and making campsite reservations for those most desired campsites does take a little extra work, but it's worth it. My next tip is you need to plan. And you must have a strategic plan. Using my AllStays app and YouTube, I can narrow it down to the campsites I'm most interested in staying at. But then I research how far in advance I can make a reservation for. And I mark this date on my calendar. You need to do this too, because these prime campsites, they go fast. So you need to be aware of these dates. I did a previous video that walks you step by step through my strategic camping reservation strategies, so I won't go into them all here. But if you haven't watched this video yet, I highly recommend you do. After you're done watching this video, of course, because there's some more great tools and resources coming up that you don't want to miss. And I'll leave information for that video in the video description below. How many times have you searched all the campgrounds in the area that you want to camp at, only to find that none of those prime campsites are available? What options do you have? Well, that's where CampNab comes in. This tool has been my best friend when I wanted to nab a campsite at a sold-out campground. It scans campsites, and then it'll send you a text message when somebody's made a cancellation. Now that's pretty cool, huh? Remember how disappointed I was when I couldn't get that lakefront campsite at the beginning of this video? So what I did next is I went into CampNab, I entered the name of the campground, then CampNab will find the different campground areas if there are any. And in this case, I want to find a campsite in the North Campground section, so I selected that. Now I could have left the default on to alert me when any campsite in the North section becomes available, but because I am a campsite snob and I'm only interested in lakefront campsites, I'm going to select these campsites. Then all I need to do is pick my arrival date and how many nights I want to camp there. That's it. Next I hit the add scan and voila, I'm all set. What happens next is when one of the campsites that I selected becomes available, CampNab will send me a text alert notification. Once again, once you get this notification, you need to be ready to pounce because others are watching for these cancellations too. So it's a race, and the first one to hit that reserve button is the winner. Of course, there aren't any guarantees, but I tell you what, plans do change and people do cancel their reservations. CampNab is just the best way to find out when one of these cancellations happens, so you can grab one of those most desired campsites. Up next are 2 alternative resources that offer some spectacular camping spots. But first, I need to say this, and I don't want to get emotional, but camping truly has changed my life. Before I bought my little guy Max, I never really spent any time outdoors. I never hiked before, I never enjoyed campfires, and I never enjoyed and appreciated just being out in nature and spending this quality time with my friends and my family. I really just can't express how much this trailer has truly changed my life. What I'm trying to say is that getting the best campsite at a campground is just the icing on the cake. That's the saying, right? Icing on the cake? I think that's the saying, right? But really, spending the time with the people that you love the most and making those new big memories is really what it's all about. Okay, on to more resources to find those camping gems. And the first resource I want to share with you is HipCamp. HipCamp says that they're the most comprehensive resource for unique outdoor stays. Basically, HipCamp is like Airbnb for camping. Let's say you want to find a spot to camp in Sedona from April 4th to the 7th, and there will be 2 of you, and it needs to be pet friendly because we need to bring Princey. Look at all these places on the map that are available. Let's click on one of these properties. Wow, this property really looks gorgeous. In the description it says it's located between Mount Humphrey and the White Horse Hills, and it borders the National Forest. Let's look at one more. Oh, this one's a farm. It says that they are off the beaten path and they have horses, cows, goats, and chickens, and they have stellar mountain views. HipCamp does have some pretty special and unique camping spots. The next resource that I want to share with you is Harvest Host. They offer camping at wineries, breweries, farms, and attractions. Look at some of these truly beautiful camping spots. Now tell me, how fun would it be to camp at a winery or a brewery with these spectacular views? These are businesses that let you camp overnight at their location. Now that's pretty cool, huh? I'll leave more information to both HipCamp and Harvest Host in the video description below. As I already mentioned, my planning reservation video is a must-watch, and time is of the essence because you need to implement these strategies right now to secure your upcoming camping gems. Watching this video just may be the best 8 minutes of your time. You can click right up here to watch the video now, or if you don't see it up here, I'll also leave a link and more information about the video in the video description below. So I'll see you over in that video next.